For as long as I can remember, my family told me I was an imposter. But when their real daughter came back and I offered to leave, they did everything they could to stop me. That is, until a mock exam where the daughter they cherished failed miserably. She cried, saying she could never be as good as me no matter how hard she tried, and then she hurt herself. To get back at me on her behalf, they framed me for cheating on my SATs. They set me up, a carefully planned trap, and had me sent to a juvenile detention center. They said it was the price I had to pay for taking a place that was never mine. For the sake of this so-called atonement, I silently endured all the slander and cold stares. The day I finally got my freedom, they had a surprise waiting for me. The day I walked out of the detention center, the sky was menacingly overcast. A guard handed me a thin, worn-out jacket. "You're free, Lila. From now on, stay out of trouble." He saw me clutching my cuffs and his voice dropped. "And have your family take you to see a therapist." My eyes were vacant. I just nodded, pulling the sleeves down further to cover the marks underneath. My sentence was served. My debt was paid. Now, I could finally go find my real family. I'd only taken a few steps when a black Rolls-Royce pulled up to the curb. The window rolled down, revealing a face that was both familiar and suffocating. Ethan, the gentle, protective older brother my sister always talked about. His expression was just as I remembered. Cold, indifferent, without a trace of warmth. "Lila, get in the car. We're going home." I ignored him and walked straight toward the bus stop. Just as I stepped onto the curb, a hand gripped my shoulder, hard enough to feel like it could crush the bone. I was yanked back, my back slamming hard against the cold metal of the car. Ethan loomed over me, a deep-seated contempt in his eyes. "What are you trying to pull now? Copying her? Playing the victim to make us feel guilty? 2 years, and all you learned was how to act?" After being locked away, my mind felt like it had rusted over. Slow, heavy, dull. I stared at him blankly, and it took a long moment for his words to register. I slowly shook my head and pulled a piece of paper from my pocket. Folded and refolded so many times it was soft and worn. I gently smoothed it out and handed it to him. "No," I said, my voice as hoarse as dry leaves scraping the ground. "She came to see me before. She said she found my birth parents. The address is here. I'm going to my real home." He froze for a second, then his face darkened, his anger flaring. He snatched the paper from my hand, tore it to shreds, and threw the pieces into the rushing traffic. "Stop this nonsense," he yelled, grabbing my arm. "Mom and Dad are waiting." I let out a strangled cry and with all my strength tore myself free and ran into the middle of the street. Home. I have to go home. I knelt on the cold pavement, scrambling frantically for the paper scraps scattering in the wind. The screech of tires and the blare of horns erupted around me. "Are you trying to get yourself killed?" someone shouted from a car. Ethan's face was pale as he lunged forward to shield me. He yelled apologies to the drivers as he practically dragged me back to the sidewalk. "Lila!" His chest heaved, a flicker of fear in his eyes that was quickly replaced by rage. "If you want to die, do it somewhere else. Don't pull these stunts for attention. After all these years, this is the thanks we get for raising you?" I looked up at him, my mind a complete blank. I tilted my head, studying him with an emptiness that was both silent and chaotic. Back then, when she hurt herself, was she just doing it for attention too? Ethan went completely still, his jaw tightening. For the first time in my life, I saw him flinch, unable to meet my gaze. In that moment, he understood it himself. Chloe. The name has been like a shackle on me for as long as I can remember. I was the imposter, the parasite, the intruder. That's why my mother fired the first nanny who ever gave me dessert. That's why my father smashed my piano. That's why Ethan drowned the puppy I rescued from the rain. With every action, every look, they made one thing crystal clear. They would never let their precious jewel suffer the slightest injustice, simply because I had once been the only child in their lives. Their favoritism was absolute, right from the start.